Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Soo, your 2022 Oakland mayoral candidate. I'm just going to share some thoughts with you folks today. I'm out walking my dog. Let's see, where's she? There she is. So I'm out walking the dog in the neighborhood. She's really well trained. I use voice command on her, and she's very cooperative. Really good dog. She's not aggressive. And so, but one of the nice things, back growing up, having a dog like that, pretty much guaranteed your kids were left alone. My parents, back in growing up in the 60s, there were a lot of children snatchings going on, kidnappings. One of the most famous ones was the kids that got hijacked and buried in a cargo container in Chowchilla. But I grew up with a Belgian Shepherd, and let me tell you that having a dog as just having the dog doesn't have to be a mean dog, just something that may look like it would hurt you. My Belgian Shepherd, whenever we were out in the front yard, my parents demanded that the Belgian Shepherd be out there. We also took the weenie dog out there, and we also had a cat. So we had plenty of animals watching us and guarding us, and kind of looking out for things that could happen. So these days it's really dangerous. What I'm saying is that, folks, I know there's a lot of people that don't like to carry guns, but perhaps you should consider an OC spray like Palm. That brand I carry on myself, and I keep next to my bed. That's the lowest line of self-defense that I'm going to start with, if they are not intimidated by mama going after them. And so those are things that we all have to take into consideration, our personal safety. I also have 3 fully mastered martial arts under my belt. That's over, let's see, 62, 8, that's 54 years of martial arts. And I can't ever think of a time where I was knocked off my feet or staggered back in any way. So having that kind of your own personal safety, you become your own weapon, and everything on you becomes a weapon. But even my previous wife that I was married to for 23 years, when we had both of the girls, one of the girls was an actual pit Amstaff that I had trained, and then the other one was her son's dog, which, strangely enough, looked identical to Pandora, my pit bull. She was just a lot taller because her genetics, while she looked mean and people were really afraid of my stepson's dog, she was the most gentlest dog, because she wasn't a guard dog. She was a Labrador, black Labrador, and a Whippet. A Whippet is the next size down from a Greyhound, so she was extremely fast. But people were afraid of her. They knew that Pandora could be dangerous, but never was. The neighborhood and the neighbors that lived in the neighborhood all got to know her, and they all loved her. She was great with their kids. She was great with other dogs. not so much with cats, but she was really good with dogs. And so we never worried about her in the neighborhood. She never wandered far anyway. But then one night it was 2006, in the middle of the night, we had some problems with a couple of break-ins on our vehicles in the driveway. Pandora and Mary alerting us to some of those issues. Well, long story short, our home was broken into through the kitchen door. Well, our first line of security, our first line of defense, the girls, our two dogs, went to work. Actually, Pandora went to work, and she protected the home, and it woke us up. But by the time we woke up, she had already driven them from the home and the property, and Mary was also escorting. She's just one of those. We always refer to Mary as the distraction dog, so that Pandora, my piranha with legs, could go to work, and that's what we did for our own personal safety, because we had levels, we had cameras and video. That's never a deterrent these days. A lot of people are talking about there's alarms with barking dogs. Well, I don't have one of those. My dogs are real, and they proved it. And so anyway, I would encourage folks to think about adding a layer of security if you haven't already. German Shepherds, Rottweilers, Pitties are great family dogs when they're raised up right. And mine, she was great with children. She loved children. And she got along with dogs. Socialization is very important with aggressive breed dogs. And you have to start early. You can't start, once they're a year or 2 years old. No, that's too late now. That's going to be very difficult in many cases. So, the next lineup, if they had gotten by my dogs, I would have heard something. Because if they shot them, I'm coming down, and it's not going to be pretty what I'm doing. And if they used a knife or anything, I would have heard something, but there was nothing. So we never want to get to that third level of self-defense in any home environment. But have a plan. I mean, these days we're seeing all sorts of bad things happen here locally and all around the Bay Area. So thanks for joining me today. This has just been a safety tip for a lot of folks. I have a lot of friends up in Sacramento. Fortunately, they were not involved with that mass murder up there in Sacramento. And we hope that the families find some justice very quickly. Thanks for joining me today. We'll be right back.